Should I use hyphens with prefixes like sub and semi? Possible duplicate. When is it necessary to use a hyphen in writing a compound word? Some English texts use the prefix sub put before a given proper word with, between them, for example sub-zero, while in the mathematical contexts there is no such that dash, for example subgroup or subfield. The same story could be seen for semi. Which way for showing that is right or is better?
Whichever way is standard for a given word. As a general rule, the hyphen is more likely to be used in situations where you are expected to read sub as a separate unit, and it gets lost when the entire compound word gets common enough to be perceived as an entity in and of itself. As such, there can be migration from one to the other over time. For example, I'm pretty sure people are more likely to prefer email to email than they were 10 or 15 years ago.
It depends on the word, as Micah says. The basic rule for prepending Latin and Greek prefixes is to not hyphenate them. Most uses of sub and super should be prepended without using a hyphen. According to the Economist's Style Guide, however, the prefixes anti, non, counter, contra, inter, half and neo are special, and most words using these should be hyphenated. To that, I would add meta and self. The general reasoning behind all of these is that the base word is a well-known concept that these prefixes modify in some relatively new way, and punctuation to indicate novel spellings or word uses is common in the history of the English language. To this, we add the corollary that common usage trumps all. Words that were originally novel uses of a prefix but have become commonly used generally get their hyphens dropped. Anti-clockwise, metadata, neoconservative, international etc. have entered the public vocabulary as their own concepts distinct from, but of course still related to, their base terms, and it is no longer necessary to hyphenate them. I would also generally add that a proper noun used as a base word should be properly capitalized, and that generally requires the use of a hyphen to prevent camel casing, which is common with the advent of computer programming, but not correct except in that context. So, neo-McCarthyism, sub-Saharan, etc. should remain hyphenated. It's interesting to note that Googlegram seems to contradict pretty much everything The Economist says. Non-violent is correct according to The Economist, but Ngram says non-violent is orders of magnitude more prevalent in writing. Similarly, semi-automatic, non-payment, interagency, etc. should all be hyphenated according to The Economist, but Ngrams again says the non-hyphenated version of each is more prevalent by several orders of magnitude.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.